All right, so previously we did a Deku tier list, and I was gonna clear it out and just like restart and do a Bakugo tier list and stuff like that. But then someone said like, hey, it might be kind of nice to just include the next few characters on there, and then kind of make a whole tier list on who you think is worth investing in. So that's what this tier list is. It's like which characters are going to be the best for you right now in game, help you the most in game, and which characters you really don't want to touch or invest in because they're not really going to help you. So that's what we're going to do. So we've done Deku so far. Let's get into Bakugos. Blue Bakugo used to be one of the best Bakugos in the game, used to be one of the best damage dealers in the game. Same with Purple. There was a debate like at the very beginning of the game, I know I'm going back in time, but about who was better out of the two. Personally, I always preferred Blue. There were plenty of people who preferred Purple. Realistically, none of it mattered in the end because they both got outscaled and fell to the wayside. That being said, I feel like it would be just disrespectful to put these two characters in F tier, so I'm gonna put them here, and I'm not gonna like mix them in with Deku's, but I'm gonna give Bakugo like their own thing. So I'm gonna keep Blue above Purple. I think Blue is slightly better than Purple, in my opinion. Now, World Heroes Missions Bakugo. World Heroes Missions Bakugo is one of those characters who was not great on release. He was okay, but then he did get buffed, and then since he got buffed, he has fallen off since then. Similar to World Heroes Missions Deku, I would say he's actually not as good as World Heroes Missions Deku, but he's not as bad as the other characters down here, so we'll put him into the same tier as World Heroes Missions Deku. But animation for this guy, like at the time when he came out, I loved the animation, and it took me how many years to freaking get him? Like, it's actually insane. World Heroes Missions characters are so sought after, and they only come around every once in a... It took like, what, 2 years for him to come back? Like, that's how rare it is to get the World Heroes Missions characters. So, we'll see if it continues to be that way in the future, but for now, World Heroes Missions Bakugo C tier, I feel like is completely fair for him. Yellow Bakugo, this guy being able to give the crit rate and stuff like that back in the day was useful. It was like a weird hybrid support, like damage buffer / damage dealer. However, that being said, I don't think he's as good as Blue and Purple. He never was. And so realistically, like, he was an F tier unit. But if I was to like say, I would say he would be better than all of these Dekus. Like, he would be above them. But I'm keeping all the Bakugos together, all the Dekus together, right? So F tier, I think, is fair for that that Bakugo. Like, he's not the greatest. He's not the worst, though. I'll give him credit where credit is due. That the crit rate was nice at the time. Then we have the Fantasy Bakugo. Fantasy Bakugo was insanely strong, but since then, obviously, he has the AoE, but the AoE is not a multi-hit. He's still able to do pretty good damage to this day, though, so I have to give him credit where credit's due for that. But am I choosing him all that often? For now, I'm going to put him in C tier. I would put him above World Heroes Missions Bakugo, but for now, I think it's C tier is fine. Maybe B tier. Maybe B tier. Then we have this guy, Golden Chance Katsuki Bakugo. He has scaling damage, and honestly, his kit is just... This is probably a bias on me. Like, straight up, I'll be honest. It's probably a bias thing. He's above Yellow, right? But I actually like him less than I like the OG Blue and Purple Bakugo. His kit isn't it. I'm not a big fan of his kit. If any character in the game needed a rework, like badly, since the time they launched, I think personally it's this one. But let me know your guys' thoughts. That 100% is probably my own bias playing into it. Realistically, he's probably at least D tier with these other two, but I really just don't like him. Red Bakugo. This one's actually kind of easy for me. A tier character. He does similar things to Celebration Bakugo, just not as good. He's a general pool unit, so you have to give him points for that as well. One of the few general pool units I actually have to level 130 because I think he is actually that useful. He does decent damage. He has AoE multi-hit, buff block, stuff like that. So he's actually a really, really good unit. Celebration Bakugo, this is the easiest one of them all to place realistically. S tier since the day he came out. He's still used to this day on multiple teams and Club Festival. He's used on quite a few teams still in PvP. He does the AoE, he has the buff block, he has the defense down, he has a lot of really good stuff, not to mention just his damage overall is actually insane. If there's ever a character, in my opinion, to get to level 130 UR+, it's probably still this character. Like, he is that good. Next up, we have the Poetry Master Bakugo, or New Year's Bakugo. This guy basically what I thought he was going to be is like what Red Kaminari is, New Year's Kaminari. I thought this guy was going to be like that. I thought he was going to be a pretty decent tank. He's okay, but I think, yeah, actually this is fair. I think he's still better than Fantasy Bakugo nowadays because just like they're two different characters. They do different things, but I'd probably put him into B tier. He's okay. I'd still probably choose this Red Bakugo over using Poetry Master Bakugo. I'm probably not using this guy too much in terms of tanking, but he is still a choice. He's there. He's okay. Steampunk Bakugo. Also, I don't like him as much as Celebration, so realistically I'm going to keep Celebration above Steampunk, but Steampunk is still definitely an S tier unit with everything that he can do. Very, very solid character. Then we have Heavy Armor Katsuki Bakugo, the first Search character, and we thought Search was going to be good, and it is good on some characters, just not him. It's really, really bad on him. Actually, like, so bad that I like him. I like him less than these, but realistically, he is better than those characters. So, to be fair to him, I'll put him into C tier. C tier, I think these two characters are definitely better than that Search Bakugo. Like, blah. I don't want to go into more detail because, like, I'll make him. Yeah, I'm not gonna be fair to him. I don't like him. I just straight up don't like him. 100 million Bakugo. I actually really like this character to a degree. The ability to hide, one of the first like attack characters or damage characters to have the ability to hide and do decent damage. Biggest problem with him is single target damage. That single target damage does hold him back a little bit. I almost want to put him into A tier. Like the damage is still good. The damage is very good. But now that he has the ability to hide, right, it does kind of counter himself, so that's a little bit of a problem nowadays. So otherwise he might be an A tier, but B tier is, I think, fair. And then last but not least, we have the Power Ascended Bakugo, the Bakugo who gets his cheeks absolutely clapped. This is a dual unit technically, Bakugo and Best Jeanist, and this character surprisingly is pretty decent. I'd put him into A tier. I wouldn't say he's as good as Red Bakugo. I would say he is still better than 100 million, still better than the Poetry Master. Like, the ability to draw aggro and evade all those hits is actually kind of insane. So I think that is a pretty good place to put him. And honestly, looking at this tier list, I'm happy with it, but let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comments. Do you agree with where I placed all the Bakugos now next to the Dekus? Do you disagree? Who would you move around and why? And if you guys did enjoy the video, please consider going down there, hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button, and thank you guys so much for watching and supporting the channel. Peace.